Welcome to my Being One channel. Last video we talked about how to find the core beliefs, how to find those sentences that we repeat often to each other, and the emotional responses and behavior. Today we're going to look at how do I change my core beliefs and how does that work. So the first thing, I'm using the same example as the last video, which was the core belief, I'm a failure and worth nothing. So I've discovered this is the core belief that is really fueling all my other thoughts and also my behavior and emotions. Now, I want to get to a thought or a belief that I'm a success, that I truly feel inside, that there's no doubt, like a knowing feeling that I'm a success and a good person. Deeply I feel it, I know it, that I can't contest it. Now, when I'm going from this to this area, that in-between moment, that stress point, and I like to call it the in-between moment, that in-between two belief systems, this moment is stressful. And I'm going to talk about that this is the hardest part to be in while you're transiting between the beliefs, this in-between. Now, when we're in that place, because we're so easy to automatically go to the negative, that we have to bring ourselves back to these kinds of thoughts. Even if we just thought that maybe I am successful, maybe I am a good person, maybe it's possible that I can feel more good things in my life. We start with those sentences, but we tend to automatically go back to our old beliefs. We're so used to it. We just go back. So our stress point is going to try and go back all the time. And then we're going to feel negative emotional responses because I want to go back there. I'm going to feel anxiety, fear, sadness. And then we get discouraged and we think, oh, this is just too hard. I can't do it. So this point here between the two is difficult. I am not going to lie. It's a constant gymnastic, mind gymnastic. And you have to find the motivation to do it for yourself. That's why I said in the beginning, this is your responsibility. You become aware all on your own. You have to sort of push yourself to go further, to not quit, to get to this place where you can feel this. Because once you're here, your emotions will and your reality will reflect that. You will feel good. You will have positive experiences. But in that time here, this in-between, until you start feeling this a bit more or believing this a bit more, you're going to want to go back and back and back all the time. Especially when you have trigger moments in your life. You have a fight with your husband or you have a fight with a colleague. Those trigger moments are right away going to go back here because that's what you've been used to. I have an example. It's like you learned to play golf and you never took lessons in your life. So you get a pattern of hitting the ball and it's working for you. You're playing okay, maybe too much on the right or on the side or until you take a class. And then you notice, oh my goodness, my feet weren't positioned in the right way. I'm not twisting the right way. I'm holding my arms wrong. And when you start learning that, it feels weird. I'm not playing like I'm used to be playing. I'm having a better technique. And at first, when you start playing with your new technique, it's not going so great. You're actually playing worse, it seems, as when you used to be playing. But the more you practice, you have to keep going at it, you keep being motivated, the better you hit the ball, the more comfortable you get in your body with your new technique. It's the same thing with this. It's a mind game. You've got to push yourself to start thinking, wait a minute, I don't have to think I'm bad. I don't have to be anxious. And by doing that, I'm going to get used to going more on this side with my thoughts and emotions than where I'm automatically going to go. Now, don't forget, we've been doing this kind of thinking for a very, very, very long time. So changing the way we think about ourselves is very new. When we're in the stress point, this in-between moment, we feel a bit disoriented. Oh, I don't know what to believe. I don't know. This is getting complicated. I'm exhausted. And then you get this feeling of you're not sure what to believe anymore. We have trouble believing our new thing. Yeah, it's not working. I'm not noticing anything. I'm not getting positive feedback. And this is where we start to get maybe even discouraged, frustrated, and we may even get sick. When we start sometimes changing our belief systems, things start to bubble up. Emotions start to bubble up. Even sicknesses. Why? Because you've been swallowing those things down. You have been not addressing them. And when you start sort of opening up, yeah, these things come up, these things that your consciousness wants you to look at, these things that you have not been aware of are now coming to the surface. And then these things are going to cause a bit of disorientation in your life, but they're not permanent. It's this in-between moment. You have to keep going until this becomes your dominant thinking process. Let's continue to the next part. Okay, so we're going to go further with the stress point, or the in-between moment when you're going from one core belief to your positive new core belief. So, but when you start doing that, like I said, it's not easy in the beginning. It opens everything up to more self-discovery. If I'm starting to question my thoughts, I'm starting to question my emotions. So it is not an easy process, because you're questioning, but you're also learning more about who you are. And also you're choosing what you're going to become based on what you're feeling in this I am. But you have to discover that I am. So how do you do that? Well, we begin by questioning more and more ourselves. And in that in-between, these feelings of disorientation, where I can start thinking my mind feels like it's spinning, I can't think, I can't focus, I don't know what I want, all of that is normal, okay? This is a normal process. You're supposed to go through this. You have to go, wait a minute, what am I doing? I don't know. Is it right, left, this belief, that belief? This is normal because you're questioning it, and it's sort of pushing all the dust up in the air, and now you have to pick what you're going to do. Also, you may have trouble believing your new belief. It's hard to believe I am successful, I am a good person. So you'll start thinking, this isn't me, this is not working, my life is still a mess, I don't know if this is really working for me, maybe I'm putting too much energy into it. All of these thoughts are normal. They all go into the in-between moment of what I'm feeling. So don't panic if you're in there, because it's normal. It's supposed to do that because you're questioning yourself. There's two more aspects I want you to notice as well. So as I was saying, when you're in that in-between moment, you're going to have these moments that are not pleasant. So I already named two, and I'd like to go further with when you may feel sick. And what I mean by sick is that you may get headaches, dizziness, muscle pain, infection, even severe diseases such as cancer. Now people say, well, why am I going to go down this road? You're going to go down this road anyway, because your negativity, like I said to you in the beginning of the videos, is that it's still going to influence your physical behavior in your physical body. If you're always in negativity, we had mentioned that your immune system goes down for a few hours and doesn't function as well. So when you're in that in-between moment and you're questioning things, all these things that you've been suppressing will come up. And sickness is one of them. If your head is really spinning and you're trying to change your thoughts and you want to go back to negativity, you may get headaches. You may think, oh, I can't do this. And even you may get frustrated, where you start thinking to yourself, this is too hard. This is demanding way too much work. I'm too tired. I don't have the energy to do this, etc. It becomes a choice. You don't have to do this. It's your own responsibility, like I said. There is advantages, though, because when you start getting good at this, once you've passed that in-between moment, that stress point, and you start focusing more and more on positive, it has a life of its own as well. You start getting good at it. Like the example I showed you with the golf. Your swing starts being really good. You start hitting even further. It's always on the green. It's never on the sides. You start noticing it in your reality. But that in-between is not easy. I have an example. I had a client once who came to see me and was suffering from severe depression. And I was explaining to her the process that she'll be going through when she starts going into why she's depressed and her core negative. And all these emotions that are going to come up and things she's going to have to see that in her behavior. And she said to me, really honestly, she said, I don't think I could do that. I can't. It's too intense. And that was it. I never saw the person again. So it is your responsibility. But once you get cross that stress point and you start feeling it, it starts working. And it starts working quite quickly, more than you think. Consciousness is there to encourage you. It doesn't want you to feel bad or be unhappy. It's the opposite. Every day it tries with signs and synchronicities in your life to get you on the most authentic, positive, empowered being you can become. But it is your work. And why it's your work? Because you're the creator. You've got to know what you're doing. If I'm going to paint a canvas and I'm going to use color, I have to be aware of the color I'm going to choose. I've got to be aware of how I'm going to paint something. It's the same thing, except think of your thoughts and emotions, your belief systems, as being the paint that goes on the canvas. You decide. You have to be empowered in that. You have to be authentic and conscious of it. I hope that this was a good video. I'll see you the next time.